All right, welcome to the Draftaholics, where we draft any and everything. However, tonight we're going to go back old school style, and we're going to do the mock draft. We're doing fantasy mock draft. It's back to football season, boys. We're almost here.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Best time of the year.
This is
It is.
this is my favorite time of the year, mock draft season. I live for mock drafts. Love them.
Mock drafts
And
are the
trades.
best. And
Don't forget
trades.
about
Trades,
trades.
too.
Yeah. You live for trades, Mike.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm here with Mike Rossi, Andrew Garganese. I'm Doug By. We don't have Joe tonight. It's just the three of us going at it here. And we're going to be doing, we've already picked our slots, right? So I'm going to be drafting second. Andrew's going to be sixth. Mike, you're going to be 11th, correct?
Correct.
That's right. You got it.
All right, boys. So without further ado, you guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's get this thing started then.
I'm ready.
All right. Okay,
Officially
so
started, Douglas.
it's officially started. We got, obviously it's Christian McCaffrey went first. He went 1-1. Not a surprise there. I don't know what I want to do here. I'll be honest with you. So at the second pick,
So,
you have
man's
a
on
lot of
top.
receivers. So I want to talk it out a little bit. Go ahead, Andy. What are you gonna say?
No, I'm just busting balls. I want to talk. I want to hear your thought process. In the beginning of the draft.
It's funny because I'm not going to get the value of this guy here that I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Jamar Chase. I think you can get Jamar
Love it.
Chase probably in at the sixth pick right now. I'm going to lock him in. So I'm going to go with him there. The reason for it though is because this year he's got a healthy Joe Burrow. Last year he didn't, and he was going second overall, third overall. So why isn't he going higher this year? Now is he not at training camp yet though? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I don't think he's practicing right now.
Okay. That's my only concern right now. Again, we're early August drafting. What is it? So that the talent I think is going to overcome any problems with that though.
That's wide receivers in general, man. They're all divas. This is what wide receivers do.
100%.
The problem with taking the top of the draft is you just have to take the really elite players and hope that they stay healthy, and because they're going to perform when they're there. You just don't know which of the the elite of the elite are going to pull away during the fantasy season, right? If he goes down with a little injury here or there, he misses 3 weeks, Burrow misses a couple weeks, or whoever the starter is, you kind of get shafted a little bit. So the top of the draft is always tough. I think it's a crapshoot for whoever you're taking, because who the top 6 guys are. Everybody knows who they are.
Yeah.
And you just got to hope you get the right one.
Now, I think most people go CD Lamb here though, right?
Yep.
He
That's
might be the
consensus.
safer pick.
Yeah,
he might be a safer. I'll take Joe Burrow over Dak Prescott though. That's kind of my thought process there. I also might take Jamar Chase over CD. I think there's more talent there.
yeah.
Now we are doing a full PPR.
I think it's the surroundings.
I didn't say that. What's that?
It's more of the surroundings. CD Lamb is the only target in Dallas, where Jamar has T. Higgins on the other side. So I think that's why CD is so overvalued right now, because he's the only person that Dak's going to throw to.
Yeah, they feed the hell out of him.
That, and one of them plays in the AFC North, where everybody has an elite defense, and then you have to deal with weather for a good portion of the back half of the season. Or one plays in a dome and gets the Giants twice and the Redskins or Commanders twice. So those things help.
No racism early here, man. Watch yourself.
It's too early. My apologies.
We're going to get banned from YouTube already.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. So right after that went CD Lamb. Then we Breece Hall at 4, Tyreek Hill at 5. So Andy, you're pick 6. Where are you going here?
What I just said, we're doing the crapshoot receivers here. I was hoping Tyreek slipped. He is my number 1 overall on my fantasy big board. Well, wide receiver, he's behind McCaffrey, but 1 overall for receiver. A little bit of surprise here, because I think Justin Jefferson's he's probably the best receiver in the NFL. But I'm going to take the Sun God. I'm going to take Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Wow.
I just watching their offense, how fun they are, and how they move the ball so consistently, playing in the dome. The NFC North got a lot better, but I don't think there's any reason for him to regress. And obviously, I like his quarterback situation a lot better than the Darnold, JJ McCarthy kind of coin toss that we got going out in
That's
Minnesota.
what scares me there. I also think you just like his nickname.
I do. I really do.
Yeah.
In
You can't go
a
wrong there.
PPR,
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
yeah,
I was going to say the
PPR
same thing.
format, I can understand that. I would never, just because Justin Jefferson's the best wide receiver in the league, and it's like, do I really care who's throwing the ball? He's going to come down with it, probably, but I just couldn't see myself passing up on Justin Jefferson at pick six. It's just outrageous to me.
Yeah, a
Not passing,
healthy.
it's outrageous that he's going that low because of this.
I mean, yeah, it's when you have a bad quarterback, it hurts. It hurts your stock.
It does.
It does.
Definitely
Look
does.
at Devontae Adams. I mean, come on.
Yep, you're not wrong.
All right, so after Amon Ra went Bijan Robinson, Mike got a little bit sad there. And then JJ went, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown. Mike got a little sad there again. And then Jahmyr Gibbs. So Mike, you're at 11th pick. Where you going?
Yeah, I'm gonna go off of the people watching on YouTube. You can see the top three there: Puka, Garrett Wilson, Jonathan Taylor. I'm gonna go the one below that, the guy that I've been picking right here. Every time we've done the mock drafts off air, I'm going with Saquon with my 11th pick. Oh shit! Did I just take? I picked the wrong guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that and put Saquon in there.
There you go.
I can't do
You put
it, guys.
you put Jonathan Taylor in.
Jonathan Taylor in. Yep.
Go ahead.
Oh, there we go.
There you
Saquon. All right. Hopefully his start to the Eagles' career is better than my start to this mock draft. But I mean, it's Saquon Barkley. Him and Jalen Hurts combined, probably the biggest thigh combo from quarterback, running back in NFL history. They're just gonna pound the ball. And I think that's some thighs right there. I think they're gonna stop doing the Jalen Hurts tush push as much as they used to, because they have a guy like Saquon behind him. So I could see him getting more goal line carries and taking some of that Jalen Hurts value away from the Eagles offense.
Okay. So you've knocked Jalen down on your big board a little bit then, huh? Because of that?
I have.
You must have. Yeah, because that's a lot of his value right there. Okay.
For sure.
So right after Saquon went Kyron Williams at the turn, and then Puka Nacua. And then Mike, you got your pick here.
All right, I'm gonna go best available here. I got my running back, going wide receiver, going Garrett Wilson. I'm betting on Aaron Rodgers. I think he got hurt last year, obviously, but it's pretty safe to bet on Aaron Rodgers, and that's a very talented wide receiver that he finally gets to throw the ball to. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think him in the second round is a lot of value there. I think you might have faked out that 12 team.
Yeah. They went back to back Rams.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's happening in real life. So.
Yep. I think you confused them a little bit, and you got Garrett Wilson, but solid pick.
My plan worked.
Yep. All right. After that, Marvin Harrison, Chris Olave, then Jonathan Taylor went. Devontae Adams, and it's back to you, Andy.
All right. Really quick, because I just have one quick question. Marvin Harrison Jr. Before I go, how do we feel about him coming into the year? Is anybody super high on him? Is he creeping up to the first round for anybody? All right, Mikey, tell me why.
He was I was down to three guys to pick right there. It was Garrett Wilson, it was Marvin Harrison, it was actually somebody that's still on the board, Travis Etienne. I love Travis Etienne this year. But Marvin Harrison, I mean, I think Kyler's going to come back to form. And Marvin Harrison is just a freak athlete. Just give him the ball. There was a report, I forget who said it, but they said, how does Kyler come back to what he used to be? He said, just give Marvin the ball. Just throw him the ball, and it'll be the old Kyler. So I think that's what they're going to do. That's what they have to do. And it's a high-flying offense, so they're going to use him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty high. I can't bring myself to take him, like,
in the first round. Do you take him in the first
round?
Yeah, I'm
saying. There's so much wide receiver talent that I don't know if I
there
could.
Is.
But I do like his opportunity, his quarterback, skill set, coach, dome. I mean, the list goes on and on for why you couldn't. I just can't bring myself to.
I feel like it's a high ceiling, but one of the lower floors in these two rounds.
Of course,
here, you know.
Yeah.
Because it all is what Kyler will do. It's all on how good is Kyler going to be. Now, I do think that if Kyler's decent, his stock goes up quite a bit in fantasy, and I don't think that's really been showing yet in drafts, though.
No,
because he's
me
got the
either.
running
No, I
ability
think
too.
Kyler's a steal right now. In what is it, like the 10th round or something that he's going in normally? I think
Probably
he's a
something like
steal.
that.
Yeah, somewhere around there, 9, 10. All right.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry to distract. All right. This kind of works out for me. Mike knows where
Love
I'm
it.
going because we've done a handful of mocks before. I'm going to take Drake London here. He's top on the big board, so that works out for the viewers. But he was also top on my big board. We all know the talent. He's had possibly the worst quarterback situation of any of these, really talented receivers. Kirk comes in, he makes receivers look great. He has no problem throwing to the same guy over and over. I think that offense is going to be really well balanced, really good. They got young skill that we've all been looking forward to watching, and they're in the worst division in football. So it's a lot of opportunity, a lot of target share, or a high target share percentage, I should say, and a lot of talent. So going there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My son
ahead.
asked me the other day. He's starting to get into football, and he asked me the other day. He said, "If the Eagles didn't exist, who would be your favorite team?" And I said, "If they didn't exist and it was today, I would be a Falcons fan. I just love Bijan, Drake London, this high flying
Kyle Pitts.
potential of
Don't
an
forget about
offense.
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle
He's
Pitts.
not
I
bringing him
still
up
have
because he's
hope for
going to
Kyle
draft
Pitts.
him.
He might be on my team later on in this draft.
Yeah, he will be.
Yeah, exactly.
He will be.
It's just an exciting team, and I have high hopes for it with you, Andy. So
Yeah, they could be super exciting. My only concern is there enough balls to go around to those three superstars or potential superstars? You know what I mean?
for
Yeah.
Kirk, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. I
All right.
agree. There's no reason he's throwing the ball, 400 times. There's no reason that, Drake can't get 130 and Pitts get 120 and, everybody else does get minimal amounts, but
I hope so, because I think they could be a really fun team to watch. All right. So after Drake, Sam Laporta went. I like targeting Laporta in the back of the second round right now.
Mhm.
Because again, especially in full PPR, he's just a target monster as well. And then you get that high upside of your tight end spot. Then Travis Etienne went. Mike, you said you're big on him. I'm not as big on him. Mainly because I want to say, and I'm probably wrong because I haven't done a lot of research this year, but I think he only averaged like 3.9 yards a carry last year, something like that. He's not a very explosive guy. He needs the work, and he's not a huge guy
They worked
either.
on their O line though.
Yeah. Okay.
They did work on their O line, and I still think that he's the best back in that backfield. They kind of said that they wanted to give Tank Bigsby more carries, but I think ETN is just too good to let that happen. He's going to take over that full time role.
Yeah, he probably is. I just second round scares me a little bit with him. Okay, and then Josh Allen after that. I also love getting Josh Allen in the back end of the second round because again, you can have the best quarterback in the league right there if he stays healthy all year. So where am I gonna go? I'm gonna go. Devon Achane here. That's where I'm gonna go.
I like that pick a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
And it's upside. We're going upside there with that guy as well. If he's healthy, he can explode and win you a week. So that's where I'm going.
Yeah,
there. At the turn, Brandon Ayuk. Go ahead.
I was gonna say he proved it last year. What did he play, like 7 games? And he had 40 plus points in like 2 or 3 of them. The guy is just an explosive freak, especially on that Mike McDaniel's offense. He's the perfect fit for fantasy football. He really is.
So that's
if
what
he stays healthy.
Yeah. And Mike calls my teams, well, it's a dog lineup
Safe.
right there. Safe. This is not a safe lineup right now.
That is not.
And I've been drafting this a lot lately because I love the upside of these two guys. They could both have 40 points in a week, and you won your week. So, love the idea of that. So after that, at the turn, Brandon Ayuk, Josh Jacobs. Where am I going to go here? Now I could go safe and go Kelsey, right? Could do that, Mike.
Very well could, yeah.
Very well could. Instead, this might look a little safe as well. I'm going to go back-to-back running backs here, and I'm hoping this guy has a big year in Baltimore. I'm going Derrick Henry. That could be a little risky. He's a 30-year-old running back. It's Derrick Henry, though.
It is Derrick Henry.
And it's a better offense than he's been in the last couple of years. I'm hoping that he's going to get a lot of goal line looks. That's where you're going with that guy. All right.
There's two worries for
Yep,
Derrick
go
Henry.
ahead.
It's Lamar Jackson, obviously, is going to steal some of those goal line looks. And Baltimore did lose big pieces to offensive line. So it's not coming back with this. I think they were like a top 5 offensive line last year. I don't think they're going to be that good this year. So I think Derrick Henry leaves the Titans because they have this shitty offensive line. He's always getting beat up in the backfield.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that bad, but he might not be as good as he expects it to be or expected it to be when he signed.
I'm hoping Lamar Jackson opens up some holes for him too, and then just they have good receiver talent. So, and especially with Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers, I think they could be a really good offense and a fun offense to watch this year,
Of course.
similar to the Falcons. So, all right. After that, Travis Kelce went, Mike Evans, Nico Collins. Back to you, Andy.
Yeah. So top of the list here is Steph Diggs. We all know I love Steph. He's with the Texans now, who you guys said Atlanta's the team you're most looking forward to watching. I think the consensus for everybody else, their second team is probably the Texans coming into the year. They made a lot of good moves. Mixon, Diggs, they got Stroud and Tank, and so he's on my list, but he's not number one. And I know I'm the guy that always waits until like round 5 or 6 to start building out his roster. But every time we do these mocks, I go about 4 wide receivers in the first 4 rounds, and my running backs are absolute trash. So number one on my big board right now is actually Michael Pittman. But I don't think I can go there. So I'm gonna go with a little bit of a homer pick. It's between Rashad White and James Cook. I have them as my next 2 running backs, and I'm probably about top 5 on my big board as it goes. And I'm gonna go homer pick. If it's a coin flip, I'd kill myself if James Cook went off and I didn't take him. So give me James Cook here. Seems like a little bit of a reach according to these ADPs, but I do also have a little bit of a beef to pick with Sleeper's ADP. That's a whole different thing.
They're pretty wild right now. Now, I had a quick question though. Nico Collins or Steph Diggs? Like if Nico Collins was available there, is he on your list?
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
but this is because they're both there. They're basically not there. You know what I mean? The old if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. Like if I have 2 of your wide receiver options and somebody like Pittman's there or Waddle or Debo, like if I'm going wide receiver, I'm still going to go with one of those other options over those 2. Not that they're not both great. I think they're both going to have very good seasons, but they're just a little bit lower. I mean, you put Tank in there, Schultz, there's a lot of balls to move around there.
There is. Absolutely is. All right. So James Cook, he's high upside, like we saw last year near the end of the year. But like you always talk trash about him, that he doesn't run hard.
Yes, I told you towards the end of the year though, a couple times he did. Somebody had a talking with him, and they're like, "You're gonna start finishing these runs, you fuck." But they didn't really bring in. They brought in Ray Davis from Kentucky, who's he's gonna get some PT. I think his biggest issue is probably Curtis Samuel. I think they are going to be moving Curtis Samuel around a bunch. I think he's going to come out of the backfield and steal a handful of receptions or targets and some carries. So I think that's going to ding Cook a little bit, but I mean he is 1A on a team that I know has lost some pieces, but I still expect to be a very good offense. So
yeah, I'm so curious to see like which wide receivers step it up, because you really don't know yet which ones are going to do
Everybody eats. Everybody eats is the camp motto. So
Keon Coleman was a high-end pick, so you assume that he's going to eat maybe more than some of the other ones. But yeah, I'm curious to see who steps it up. All right. After James Cook, Debo Samuel, then Steph Diggs, Patrick Mahomes, Pacheco. Mike, you're back on the clock.
You guys gave me a lot of time. Thank you for going back and forth there, because this is a tough pick for me right here. I got Jalen Hurts sitting there at the top of the list. I got Saquon already. I can't go Saquon and Jalen Hurts.
No,
they're just stealing each other's points.
They would. That would be so. How frustrating would that be to watch that game?
Exactly.
Like yes,
yeah,
no.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go high flying offense. We talked about Mike McDaniels a little bit, so I'm gonna have faith in Jalen Waddle. I think he'd be going a lot higher right now if he wasn't so fucking injury prone. Why do you get hurt so much? And it seems to be these injuries that's like, I'm going to come out for a quarter and then I'll go back in, but then I'm going to come out for another quarter and
Yeah.
go back in. It's not anything serious, but it's over and over and over
Are you
again.
saying
These
he's
tiny
soft?
injuries.
You're saying he's soft. Is
That's
you're-
what Mike's saying. Mike's
Yeah,
calling
that's what I
Jalen Waddle
hear.
soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I heard.
Maybe. I mean, he might be. You know what? If Jalen Waddles listens to this, I hope he hears that and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna prove Mike Rossi wrong. And I'm just gonna go out and I'm gonna play through these injuries. So
Fuck that kid.
that's a good idea right there. All
Yeah.
right.
All right. After that went Jalen Hurts, your boy. DJ Moore, back to you.
All right. So the computer took the debate away from me. I was between two people. DJ Moore was one of them. I think this is for DJ Moore. I think this is the year he's like, I need to fucking prove who I am in this NFL because he's always been one of the best wide receivers in the league and he never gets credit for it. So now he's got Caleb Williams. I think he's out on a mission to prove it. I probably was going there, but with him gone, I'm going down the list a little bit. You can't see him on your screen there, but I'm going DK Metcalf.
You like him. I've been
I
noticing
just
you've been
love
drafting him a lot. Yeah.
I
okay.
love DK. I think we've been saying it for a couple of years, but I think Tyler Lockett takes a step back. I know Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to take a step forward, but DK's still the man there, and it's the man that Gino trusts. So I'm gonna stick with my guns and say DK gets the majority of those goal line and those high flying passes.
Question is, do we trust Gino? Who's the backup there? Anyone know?
It's Drew Lock, isn't it?
Is it Lock? Is
Yes,
it still
it is
Lock?
Drew
Yeah,
Lock.
Lock. He had a good game last year. Good game or two. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. I feel like they got somebody, but I could be wrong there.
Yeah.
I think it is still Drew Lock.
All right. So after that, Malik Neighbors went, Trey McBride, Cooper Cup, who it seems like, Andy, you've been targeting him a lot, which
like
I
Cooper,
don't
yeah.
hate. I don't hate that in the 4th round. Lamar Jackson, back to you.
No, this is crazy. I mean, what did I just say in my last pick here? I went with James Cook, but now Pittman and Rashad White are both still available. So it's really which way do I want to go with this roster?
Yeah.
So, I look down and, Kamara's there and stuff. I just don't, I'm going to go the safe route here because even though Pittman is still number 1 on my big board, I'm going to take Rashad White because I like the wide receivers that I know I'm going to get. And, 1 to 3 rounds, I know I'm still going to have really good options. Running back, not so much. So this is very unlike me, but this is how the drafts have been falling. I'm building my roster a little bit earlier than I usually do.
Wide receivers so deep, like always.
So deep.
Go ahead, Mike.
Real quick, Sam Howell is the backup quarterback in Seattle.
Oh wow,
and
that's what happened.
I heard he's having one of the worst camps.
Okay,
like, most inaccurate quarterback. So I don't think Geno Smith has any competition.
So he doesn't
at
have
this
an
point.
issue. Okay.
Yeah.
He was fun to watch at times, man. But yeah, he made some bad decisions. Okay. I also like Rashad White in a full PPR because that dude catches a lot out of the backfield as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. After that one, George Pickens, Devonta Smith, Alvin Kamara. Where am I gonna go? Let's see here. I usually, especially early in the draft, if you have an early pick, I've been building my roster pretty quickly. Because it seems like a lot of quarterbacks and tight ends fall back to me. And I'm going to actually go with this guy, though, which is a tight end. I'm going to go with Kincaid here. I'm going to go Dalton Kincaid. I think we're talking about which receiver is it going to be in Buffalo. We know Kincaid's going to eat. So I like him this year a lot. Your thoughts, Andy, since you're the Bills guy?
I was actually in whatever Bills subreddit or whatever I was on. I was having this discussion with a bunch of people, and I truly believe that Kincaid leaves this season, if fully healthy, if everybody were to play. I think he leaves the season with the most targets, most receptions, most yards, most touchdowns. I think that's fair to say that he does all of those things. I just don't see a way that he doesn't really. Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakur, both maybe around 70 catches, 65, 70 catches. Coleman, I have a slightly under that.
They're role players, though, for the most part. Samuel and and Khalil,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, they have. I think everybody on this offense is technically a role player,
Yeah.
but I think Kincaid's
And
the one that's really not. I think he's pretty much on the field as long as he has his breath every single
yeah,
snap. So
if he's healthy, he could be a superstar this year at tight end. And to get him in the fourth round, I think is pretty good value late in the fourth
yep,
round, especially because it gives you an up at tight end.
he
All
is
right.
my probably bias, but my tight end too. I have him over Kelsey.
Yeah, I was looking at it and it
Real
was
quick,
like, yeah, go ahead, Mike.
do they still have Dawson Knox? Not saying that that's his competition, but is he still going to be on the field?
Yeah. He'll still play a lot.
Dawson Knox, for some reason, Josh Allen just loves
Catches
to
touchdowns,
target him in the end zone. He steals.
catches
Yeah,
touchdowns.
it's all he
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Meh. This
But
is what he does.
Kincaid's going to be a catching machine. You know,
Yeah, I don't. I would be surprised. I'll go on record. I'll be surprised if anybody on that team has double-digit touchdown receptions.
yeah, that's
Agreed.
probably accurate. That is probably accurate. All right. I'm gonna go. You know, I was looking at it and I was like, "Whoa, I like T. Higgins here. Can't do T. Higgins. I got Chase." Um, so I'm gonna go with. I was talking
Tell me
about
Lost
it
him at
before.
lost him at T Higgins.
What'd you say?
Well,
Good news
we'll
is
see it get to us.
we knew exactly. We knew exactly when we lost him.
I lost. Yeah, T. Higgins. Yeah, in my back. In my back here.
Actually,
right.
perfect. Yeah.
All right, cool. I was just saying, with T. Higgins, I can't go there because I already got Jamar Chase. So that's not the route I'm taking. Again, we're talking about how there's so much depth at wide receiver. I have my stud wide receiver in place. I'm going to go with another running back here, and I'm going to go with
Mhm.
another old one, but he's in a great offense in a good situation. I'm going to go Joe Mixon here. And
That's a Doug pick right there. That is a Doug pick if I've ever seen one.
it's a safe pick if he's healthy on a great offense, though. So I like it. I like a safe pick in the fifth round. I'll take it. All right. After that, Keenan Allen, CJ Stroud, Zay Flowers, who I almost took over Mixon. And back to you, Andy.
All right. The streak continues for me here. I don't know. I'm gonna lose sleep, but once I'm gonna continue building out my roster. Instead of going for the dude I think is gonna score the most points, only because I think I can get those guys still a little bit coming up. Mark Andrews to me is the last of like the elite tight ends we got here. I think there's 5 tight ends that you can pretty much consistently start every single week.
How
And
dare
then
you
we
say
got
Kyle Pitts isn't one of the elite?
then we got the other 3 of Ingram, Pitts, and Kittle that you probably can't start every week, but I don't know if they're going to deliver as frequently as these other ones. The top 5. Lamar Jackson has a number 1 target. His name is Mark Andrews. Lamar Jackson's number 1 target is very good at catching the ball all over the field. He's going to get his looks. He's a very good player. He's going to be on the field a lot. You know what you're getting, and that's as I said, the last tight end that I don't mind starting every single week and not worrying about it.
Healthy
So,
Mark Andrews is a safe pick. That's also a Doug pick in Mike's eyes. I think I want to say I picked him in like the 3rd round last year. You know, he was going higher last year. That injury
he's tight
probably
end 2
knocked him
last
down.
year.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So, all right. Right after Mark Andrews went Kyle Pitts. So that's not going on Mike's team. Anthony Richardson, T. Higgins, Tank Dell. Back to you, Michael.
All right, the computer once again did my job for me. If this came back around to me while you guys are discussing, I was between 2 people. Kyle Pitts was obviously one of them. But I'm gonna go with another old man here, Doug. You talked about an old running back. I'm going Aaron Jones. I think that I think he's undervalued. I know that he's getting old, and he's on a different team this year, but he came out and proved himself when he was actually starting to get healthy last year.
Yeah.
He came out and proved he was still Aaron Jones. So I'm gonna
He's
take
not
the
Aaron
flyer here
Rodgers.
as my second
He's-
running back. No,
Yeah.
he's not Aaron Rodgers. No.
All right. So I think him and Mixon are very similar. Only because Mixon's on a much better offense. So if Aaron Jones was on the Texans, he'd probably be going a round or 2 earlier than he is right now. But because of the offense that team has, Aaron Jones could be a bust this year. We don't know. But
Yeah, but I think it's safe to say he has more pop than Mixon does. He has more,
Definitely does.
little
Definitely
screen
does.
pass, a little wheel route or something. He takes one to the house, where Mixon doesn't have that ability.
Definitely does.
I think
But
it. I
history
think it's also safe
shows.
to
Go
say
ahead. Yep.
Doug's a little shell shocked when it comes to Minnesota running backs, and I think he's
I am
probably
that as well. I'm not
never.
touching those
He's
ever
probably
again.
never going near that
Yeah.
team
Yeah.
or that backfield, I should say.
It's Tyreek Hill and Minnesota running backs not drafting. Um, but yeah. So anyway, history does show in fantasy football that if you're on a bad offense, the running back's usually pretty bad as well. So that's
Yeah,
what
of
scares me
course.
about that. When I go for running backs, I try to go for the high end offenses. All right. After Aaron Jones, Amari Cooper, James Conner. Back to you, Mike.
Real quick to Minnesota, it's crazy that an offense with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, and Aaron Jones were calling a bad offense just because one fucking position. It just
It's the
goes to
most
show
important
you
position.
how
Yeah.
much that position means to
Yeah.
you.
It matters
Uh-huh.
so much.
Speaking of that position, I think this is something that's never going to happen in real life. I think this is just a mock draft. It's both sleeper and fantasy pros have Joe Burrow going way too late. I think in real life drafts, I think he's going to go earlier, but I'll take advantage of it. We already talked about Joe Burrow when Doug picked Jamar Chase earlier, so I'm going to prevent him from getting that stack and taking
Yeah.
the
I was
sixth
hoping
round.
the stack was coming back to me, but I should have known better because you have been drafting Burrow. It's a good pick. I mean, if he's healthy, he's going to be great. So good pick. After Joe Burrow, Jordan Addison, Terry McLaurin, DeAndre Swift, Chris Godwin, and back to you, Andy.
Yeah, so this is when I was talking about wide receivers. This is the round that I really love wide receivers. I usually in these mocks can get either Terry McLaurin, Christian Kirk, or Chris Godwin here. Chris Godwin to me is the low man on that totem pole. I actually am getting the guy I want the most. I'm getting Christian Kirk here. Um, Look, we all thought our boy Calvin Ridley was going to just come in and destroy for Jacksonville last year, and it felt like Jacksonville's coaches thought that too, and they really tried to force him the ball in the beginning of the year. And slowly but surely, over time, I don't know if it was a chemistry thing with Trevor Lawrence, or maybe we're a little higher on Calvin Ridley's skill set than we need to be. I don't think that's true, but Christian Kirk was the number one on that team, pretty much from week 5 on, week
Yeah.
6, whatever it was. He is the guy. He's Trevor Lawrence's boy. He gets a billion targets, and when I'm in a PPR fantasy league, that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for targets. So this is for me to get my wide receiver 3 in round 6 there as Kirk. I love that.
Yeah, he's the guy he trusts there for sure. All right.
Yeah, I think him and
Go ahead,
Evan
Mike.
Ingram are the. I'll give Doug. I'll give you a little time to look at your big board there. I think it's Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram, and I really think that. And I know we've been saying it probably for the past couple of years, but I think that Trevor Lawrence really comes out of his shell this year. It's kind of a make it or break it year. He got the contract, right? So come out and fucking prove you're worth that. And I think you have to just target Christian Kirk because he's such a pure route runner, and he's not going to get you that 75-yard touchdown. But if you're targeting him, he's going to get you first downs, and he's going to make sure that you're not throwing those picks that you were throwing when you were trying to just do a jump ball to Calvin Ridley all year.
Yeah, that's true. I hope. Do you think Trevor Lawrence is going to be better?
I do. Yeah.
I don't think he can be much worse. Like that, he did not have a good year last year.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. All right. After Christian Kirk went David Montgomery, Roma Dunte, Ramondre Stevenson. So here, the thing I like about picking like second or third, or when you're near the end, you can see the other teams in front of you or behind you, and you kind of take a look and see what their rosters are looking like. Team 1 has 3 running backs. They just have the 2 wide receivers. So I know they're probably not going to go running back here, but they're very well could go wide receiver. So I'm going to go ahead and get Jaden Reed on the Packers. I love his. I love how he can do. He's like the Swiss Army knife, right? On that team, like he can do everything on that team. Very versatile player. I love that kind of player because he's going to get you points all over the field in different ways. All right, so after him went George Kittle, then Dak Prescott. I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say, are you scared if Christian Watson can just somehow stay on the field and keep his hamstring intact? Are you scared that he takes away some with now Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed, and Christian Watson on the field together?
Not as much as some of these other stacked wide receiver teams we've been talking about, you know. And Jordan Love just got paid. He's going to throw the ball a lot again. And that goes to where I'm going right now. I'm going to reach at quarterback a little bit, and I'm going to get my stack here. I'm going to go with Jordan Love because he also runs the ball a little bit. I like getting that stack of those two guys. And so Andy just got sniped here.
Yeah, I got 3 times over.
3 times over. All right. So what do you guys think? What do you guys take on Jordan Love?
Another guy that just got paid. I mean,
I don't.
He's fine. His skill set's there. He looked great. Back half of that season, he looked really great. I mean,
Yeah.
You guys talked about Reed, Dobbs, and Watson, but there's also they drafted Musgrave and that dude Wicks. Everybody loves out there in Green Bay. So I mean, he's got plenty of
He's got talent.
very good targets, and you know he's got the talent. There's no reason for him not to keep progressing.
I think he proved it enough last year that he should be considered legit at this point. We'll see. Could be wrong, but everyone was doubting him last year, me included. Mike, actually, you were one of the believers in him last year, weren't you? And were you just about to say you don't believe in him too much?
No, I want to see it again. I don't know if I believe in him to be in that top echelon of quarterbacks yet, like he got paid to be.
Yeah.
But I do believe that he has all the skills. I just want to see it for one more year until I make like a reach like that.
I agree with you. But I also don't want to draft guys like Dak Prescott on past performances. I want to draft the guy before he does the big season. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
very true.
That's kind of where I'm at with that. All right. After Jordan Love, Raheem Mostert went, Zamir White, Zach Moss. Those are 3 pretty solid running backs. Now with Zach Moss, though, they are saying Chase Brown's getting a lot of work with the ones. He could be the guy there. So I think Zach Moss might be getting a little overdrafted and sleeper right now. Could be wrong come season, but we'll see. So you wanted a running back there, obviously, Andy. You're up here. Where are you going now?
Yeah, so I really wanted Zamir White here. He looks like a WWE wrestler. He's fucking the man has definitely done a bunch of steroids, and he has no one else around him.
There's nobody behind him.
Really battle. Yeah, like it's really just his role on a team with bad quarterback play. So I mean, he's not gonna be a dude that's averaging 5 yards a carry, but I think he's gonna be 4 yards a carry, maybe double-digit touchdowns, and you're looking for a running back 3 here. He kind of checks all the
he'll be a reliable RB3 flex player again on a bad offense, but reliable in that role. I agree.
Right. So that hurts a little bit. I got two Kansas City Chiefs there at the top. I don't really want to touch either one of them. So I really don't know what I'm going to do. I have an idea. It's a little sick, but I'm not. It's too early for me to do it.
A little sick.
It's a little sick. I know what I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm gonna spring and do something real stupid, but could be. I took Nick Chubb.
Wow.
The man's not a human. He's not a human being. If this was any other person, this person would be on my do not draft board instantly. But I already saw like 3 weeks ago he's back to squatting 600 pounds. It just nothing about him adds up. His football career probably should have been over in college, if we're being honest. And he just keeps getting hurt and just coming back like nothing happened and just destroying people. And he's got too much talent. And that offense has got a lot of talent. The whole team's got talent. And he's in such a good position that I don't mind waiting. He's probably going to be on the pup, right, for the first 4 weeks or whatever, but I don't mind.
I was just going to ask
getting him in week 5 or 6.
Okay.
7 before he starts gearing up and having a legit star, possibly. It's risk reward, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Okay. They're a fun team because they play so damn hard. Their defense was fun to watch last year. Yeah. All right. After Chubb, Xavier Worthy, Calvin Ridley, who I don't think anyone's going to get fooled again with him. Little who action. All right. Najee Harris, Rasheed Rice. Back to you, Mike.
All right, so I'm looking at Doug. I'm taking your strategy. I'm at pick 11, so I can look at pick 12, see what they need. They have the exact lineup that I have. They have a quarterback, they have 2 running backs, and they have 3 wide receivers. So whatever I'm looking at, they could possibly want the same exact thing.
So it
So I'm
doesn't
gonna
really
go
help
whoever's
out.
higher on. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't play that strategy.
No.
I'm just gonna go who's higher on my big board. I'm gonna fill out my roster here. I'm going Evan Ingram.
All right.
We said it already. I think Trevor Lawrence gets back to where we thought, maybe not where we thought he was going to be, but back to reality for him. And Evan Ingram has to play a part of that.
He had a actually sneaky, really good year last year.
Yeah, I think he was tight end too,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
So I'm not really sure why
PPR.
he's so far down on the list. Yeah. That could be a great steal right there. All right. Brock Bowers.
And
after
you were
him.
big on him last year. Are you not this year?
No, I am. I just said there's
Oh, yeah.
8 of them. There's 5 that I really, really like, and then there's 3 that I don't like quite as much.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Ingram falls below the Mark Andrews threshold for me.
I want to
So-
say he had not 100 catches, but he had a ton of catches last year, right? Maybe somebody can look that up. But
He had 114 catches last year.
wow, he did have over 100 catches.
Holy shit.
I had him in a lot of leagues.
Wow.
I mean, why is he
happy with
going
that.
so late? I don't completely understand that, especially if we think Lawrence is
That's
going to get a little
crazy.
better.
I think this has been a little bit of a slide on the tight ends because I mean we had Kittle go 6-12 and him go and Evan Ingram went 7-11.
Yeah.
So I think that this is just kind of one of those drafts where things fall weird. If we were to look at their ADP, I don't think Evan Ingram really gets out of round 7 or Kittle or round 6, I should say.
So is tight end deeper than it usually is then?
Yeah,
It seems
know,
that
for sure.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you give me another year where you have, I mean, once again, this is my number, but eight tight ends and Brock Bowers being
That
an
you're okay
outlier,
having
right?
as your tight end one.
Right.
Yeah.
It's never, I mean, that's usually 2/3 of your league. That's fine with the tight end position. That never happens.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Like I said, Brock Bowers win at 7-12, 8-1 Deontay Johnson, and back to you, Mike, in the 8th round.
All right, so my strategy worked. I went tight end first. My other need is running back. Team 12 did not pick a running back, so I have exact same players I would have had if I would have picked them earlier. I'm going to take a flyer here. I have my actually, this is a flex play, but that's okay. This is a flex. He's going to start off with the bench because he's starting the year on the pup list. But I'm going Jonathan Brooks. I'm taking a flyer on the rookie. I know he's going to be out for what? They're saying like up to 4 weeks, but most likely like 2 to 3 weeks. But when he comes back, he's their guy. He's their running back. They picked him in the 2nd round. Was he the first running back taken off the board?
Yeah, he was the first.
Or was that?
Yep. No, he was the first.
First running back taken off the board.
Yep.
So they put the stock into him. They're going to use him once he's healthy. Again, this is looking later in the year, but I'm okay with taking that risk in pick 8, round 8, I should say.
Yeah. I mean, looking at your team, you need Saquon and Aaron Jones to stay healthy. That's what it is. So
Yes, 100%.
all right. After Brooks, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler in the 8th. That's surprising. I keep on seeing him go in the 9th, and I love getting him in the 9th. Where are you guys at on Austin Eckler? Because I think he's still a value in the 8th. No, he was a top 5 pick last year, and he dropped off that far. He's 28 years old. Go ahead.
He just did not. He didn't look like
He didn't.
He didn't look like Eckler. Now, granted, you don't know how hurt he was or whatever, but I mean, there's losing a step, and then there's what he did. It was it was tough to watch, and I'm a big Eckler fan. But I don't know. Especially, I like was it Brian Robinson?
Brian Robinson. Yeah.
Many men out there. So
they're different running backs, though. I feel like Eckler could still get 10 to 12 touches a game, and in the 8th, 9th round, that's solid value right there. But
I think there's better options right now, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, they had that other running back last year. I don't even know if he's on the team anymore, but was it Rodriguez or something that started getting some carries later in the year? He was taking them away from Brian Robinson, but like Andy said, we physically watched Austin Eckler right before our eyes just lose a step, and it was so sad to see. I
Yeah.
hope I'm wrong. I hope he comes back to, at least a portion of the man he was the year before, but I don't know. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I'll send NFL GMs because I think he got paid like absolute dirt money too. Like nobody wanted to sign him.
Yeah, it's a prove it deal right now. All right. Njoku, I went after Eckler, Javante Williams, and then back to you, Andy.
Yeah, so this is part of the deal. If you draft Nick Chubb, you basically could have possibly just drafted absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with I basically have to get another running back, right? Because there's a chance that I now have two running backs going through the season. So I'm gonna go with the best running back on my board. That's Devin Singletary. At this point in the draft, you're not getting the talent and the opportunity, right? So you're drafting Jonathan Brooks for talent, or you're drafting somebody like Devin Singletary because of the opportunity. He really doesn't have much else around him. Their offense, the Giants' offense, isn't very good. We all know they're kind of bad. But Dable will do some things to get Singletary, 4.5 yards a carry. You're just hoping that he gets, a few hundred touches this year, running and receiving, and that nobody else kind of comes out of nowhere and steals his job.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably where he should be going. Again, it's a bad offense, but he's going to be getting the bulk of the carries, so I don't hate the pick. All right, after him went Kyler Murray, Hollywood Brown, Lad McConkey, and then I'm looking at Team 1 again, and they still only have 2 wide receivers on their team. So I think they're going to go wide receiver here. And I'm going to go ahead and get Andy's. Am I going to? No, I don't want Andy's boy. I don't want him. Don't want him because I got Kincaid already. Don't want him.
That's true. Sorry, maybe he'll come back to me.
Yeah, he might. So I'm going to go with Smith and Jigba here because, again, he was a guy that was drafted high last year. Everyone had high hopes for him. This could be his breakout year, I'm hoping. And I think he's got high upside. So I like that in the 8th round, late 8th round. Tajay Spears went after him, then DeAndre Hopkins. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my boy Jalen Warren.
I love that pick. The best running back in Pittsburgh. I couldn't say the sentence, but
yeah.
We've been on that train. I'm not entirely sure if we started that train, but we've definitely been on it for a long. We're in the first cart if we're not driving it. That's for sure.
Yeah, right.
All right. So after that, after Jalen Warren went Keon Coleman. So Andy, you're not going to get him, unfortunately.
That's all right.
Then Jake Ferguson, then Brian Thomas. Back to you.
You guys know how I feel about quarterbacks. I generally don't draft them before the 9th round. And right here, once again, I'm just going to take Brock Purdy. It's not a sexy pick, but we all know he's going to put up just fucking beautiful fantasy numbers and pretty consistently. Kyle Shanahan knows what he's doing with quarterbacks. That's the most talented roster in football. There's really not much to be said. He's going to be consistently delivering me 18 points a game, 20 points a game.
I mean, I limped into the championship last year, and he was my quarterback. So you can get there with that. You can get there with everyone knows you can get there with a trash quarterback.
Right.
So
he's not trash.
It's not what I
call Brock Purdy trash.
Well, for
that's
fantasy,
rude. What did he have to do to you, man?
Fantasy purposes. He's
I don't know. Hold on. Let's see where he finished last year. He was QB 6.
Was
last year?
Yeah, he had some
QB
spurts.
6.
He had some spurts for sure. And again, a stacked team around him offensively. So
I don't think he's going to be QB 6 again. I'm not saying that.
No, I don't either.
I think he's a very startable quarterback.
He's gonna be hovering around that 10 to 12 mark this year. Maybe even 10 to 14. We'll see how he goes. All right. After that, Christian Watson, Dalton Schultz, Dallas Goedert, Caleb Williams, and back to Mike.
This is a tough pick for me. I still need somebody that's gonna start the season for me. Because again, Jonathan Brooks is going to be out. So I'm looking at running back here, and I'm going to pick the guy that I think could have a hot start to the season and then just fade away as he becomes a 31-year-old Ezekiel Elliott. But I'm going to take Zeke here. I think he's going to start off the season as the guy in Dallas. He's not going to get me, he's not going to win me games, but he's going to get me 10 points, 10, 15 points, and he's not going to lose me games as the season starts.
It's a smart pick because, like you said, you're not going to have Brooks early. So it's a smart pick to have. And they'll just swap spots in your roster. That's all.
Exactly.
All right. So after Zeke, TJ Hawkinson, Tua, back to you.
All right, now I'm going. I got 4 running backs. I'm good there. I got my quarterback, got my tight end. I haven't picked a wide receiver since round 4, so I'm gonna look there, and I'm gonna go again. I think I'm gonna go safe here, just because if somebody gets hurt, I still need a flex option to throw in. I'm gonna go Curtis Samuel. Again, we talked about it already. It's gonna be this plethora of just 5 to 10 targets, but Curtis Samuel, I think, besides Dalton Kincaid, is the best option available for Josh Allen.
He'll at least probably get the shot first to see if he can do it or not. All right. After that went
Correct.
Jaden Daniels, Jameson Williams, Brian Robinson, Trey Benson. Back to you, Andy.
Yeah, you made my decision easier. I probably would have taken Samuel here. I'm not entirely sure. I think Khalil Shakur might end up with a few more targets, but where Curtis Samuel's fantasy value comes in, as I said, he'll be out of the backfield a pretty good amount for a wide receiver anyway. So I think he definitely has a higher fantasy value. So this leads me back to, once again, just opportunity over. I think Cortland Sutton is a talented wide receiver. He has all the opportunity in the world, but I'm pretty sure if we were to say who's the worst team in the league right now, it's between the Panthers and the Broncos, right? Like they're fucking terrible. It's a terrible team with almost nothing to it.
Yeah.
So it could be a completely dead pick, but I mean, we're
Okay.
here.
So you went there though. Yeah, I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
I thought you were going to switch on us and go somewhere else. Okay.
Nah.
Cortland Sutton.
Just, yeah. Not sexy, but
no,
there's no reason he can't get 10, 12 targets a game.
Yeah, he's got talent for sure. All right. After that, Tyler Lockett, Gus Edwards, Jared Goff. Back to me again here. And again, I'm looking at the first team, and they still just have the 3 wide receivers on their team. Or they only have 3 right now. So where do I want to go? I mean, now we're in the 10th round. You're just kind of, let's see here. I'm going to see if this is, you know what? No, I'm going to go with the Doug pick, Mike. I'm going to go safe. I'm going to go Jacoby Myers. That's where I'm going to go.
Jacoby Myers, yeah.
Jacoby
I was looking at that
Myers.
list. I was like, who's the safest guys? Jacoby Myers is as safe as it gets when it comes to a PPR league.
Super safe. He's going to get you 8 to 12 points a game, and that's what you want. So go Jacoby Myers there. After that went Romeo Doubs, and then Blake Corum. Let's see. What do I need now? What do I need? Who do I like? So I'm going to go with the aforementioned Chase Brown and hope he's the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good pick in the 11th round. This is where you start taking those flyers. Like, you don't want somebody that's just going to stay on your fucking bench the whole season,
Right.
You need this guy that by week 2, can I drop him and pick up this fucking waiver that everyone's going for? You need guys like that on your team.
Yeah, droppable guys or trade bait guys. Like all of a sudden, oh, Chase Brown is the starter. I don't need him, but maybe someone else does, kind of thing. So
Sure.
I like getting guys like that. All right. After that, Pat Fryermuth, Jerome Ford, Trevor Lawrence. Andy, back to you in the 11th round.
All right, so I'm going to take my favorite. I don't want to call him a handcuff, but maybe my favorite player being a timeshare here. I'm going to take Zach Charbonnet. They drafted him high.
Yeah.
I think we all know Kenneth Walker is filthy when healthy and when he's playing well, but it's, it happens not as often as it should. And Charbonnet is going to get touches, I think, one way or another. Maybe not the healthiest guy himself, but you don't draft a guy that high and not use him. So he's going to get some receptions, maybe some third down packages. Maybe they'll just alternate, series on and off. I don't really know, but I do think his opportunity of all the backups, we'll say, is number one. So And I got to tell you, I wouldn't usually draft five. Like I know I almost never leave the draft with five running backs. I pretty much cap myself at four. But because I took Nick Chubb,
Yeah, you need
I
the
am
other one.
overcompensating.
Yeah. Yeah, and Zach Charbonnet meets those qualifications of what we were just talking about. So that's the perfect pick in the 11th round of possible high upside guy. All right, after that, Justin Herbert, Khalil Shakir, Matthew Stafford, Adonai Mitchell, Michael, 11th round. We gave you a lot of time.
11th round, you gave me plenty of time. And guess what? I still don't know where the fuck I'm going. All right, I'm going to go back to wide receiver here. I got Curtis Samuel as my safe off the bench. Again, I was looking for that at the time because I needed a flex option in case Zeke isn't it. I'm going to go with my hit or miss guy. I'm going Rashid Shaheed. I think he proved it last year that he can come out and just get you 30 points out of nowhere. But it's hit or miss. I'm hoping for a little more consistency this year. But in the 11th round, you can't be more upside than Rashid Shaheed.
All right, after that, Xavier Legette, Chuba Hubbard. You again, Mike, 12th round.
All right. Again, a guy that I probably should give up on, but I old habits die hard. I'm going J.K. Dobbins in the hopes that his career is just not over. I mean, I loved J.K. Dobbins before he got hurt. I gave him a chance last year. He just got hurt again. I just hoping he can revamp his career a little bit. So 12th round, worth the flyer.
So funny how the Chargers are like, you know what, Ravens, we're gonna take your running backs and see what we can do with them.
Yeah,
Because they got Gus Edwards
exactly.
too, right? They
Pretty
got
much.
Gus.
Yep.
I think the Harbaughs they like each other's running backs. I think they have a certain running back they like. So
for sure. All right. After that, Luke Musgrave, Jerry Judy, Aaron Rodgers, Cole Kmet. Back to you, Andy.
I feel like I can't stop talking about Nick Chubb. But if I didn't have Nick Chubb on my team, I would go with Mike Williams here because for those 6 games he plays this year, he's gonna look amazing. He's got Rodgers. It's got to be warm out, so it's not like the weather's gonna get to him. He's gonna look great. He's got all the talent in the world, and then poor bastard is gonna get fucking hit by a train or some terrible thing is gonna happen to him because he has the worst injury luck in the world. So I'm just gonna move right past him because I need somebody I can consistently play. I'm gonna take Josh Downs. I thought he had a really good rookie campaign with some subpar quarterback play. In a PPR league, they didn't. I mean, they got Ad Mitchell right in the second round, but
yeah,
I don't really see why that affects Downs too much. Whatever, it's round 12 or something. So
yeah,
I'm just hoping to get something from him.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's more Anthony Richardson too. Like Gardner was throwing the ball more than Richardson's going to, obviously. And can he support 3 wide receivers and
Probably
Jonathan
not.
Taylor? I just don't know
Probably
if you're going to
not.
get the value. But
but
again, it's
Josh
12th
Downs
round,
might
you
be
take
the
that
second guy.
chance.
Yeah, Josh
Right,
Downs might end up being
correct.
number 2 there.
Yeah.
So, all right. After him, Kendre Miller, Mike Williams, your boy, Joshua Palmer. So let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure team won again. Yeah, I got to keep on looking at that team. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get a quarterback here because just in case I'm not 100% in on Jordan Love, just in case I'm gonna get a quarterback with a high end offense, then I'm gonna go Kirk Cousins here because that's the safe pick.
Yeah.
All right. After that,
that is a safe pick.
It is. And after that, Jalen Wright, Baker Mayfield went. So he was gonna go quarterback. I figured as much. Because he just had the one. Where am I gonna go now? Do I want to? Yeah, let's see. I was gonna say I kind of like where my roster's at right now.
Come on, dog.
I'm gonna
Make a pick.
I'll go Gabe Davis for that high end upside in the 13th round. Rico Dowdle.
Dowdle.
Yeah.
Ben Sanote. Couple ones. And then Ty Chandler. Back to you, Andy. Your last pick.
I mean, at this point, you're just trying to get people that can play for you. So give me Brandon Cooks, another guy that has a pretty large opportunity on a pretty high powered offense. Will he play often? Probably not, but need the option.
Yeah. Um, it's so weird that they didn't go out and get more guys on that team. You know, they I don't know why they don't have more wide receivers on that team. Like Brandon Cooks is not a number 2 wide receiver anymore, but
It makes no sense.
it makes
It's
no
like
sense.
everyone, especially Dallas fans, they just expected like, all right, this is the
A
year
big
Jerry Jones
splash.
go out and do
Yeah.
something. They did nothing, absolutely nothing
They
in
brought
free
Zeke back.
agency.
They brought
Awesome.
Zeke back. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, seriously, that was the big splash.
Yeah. They made the Patriots look like they splashed. All right.
Hmm.
After Brandon Cooks, Troy Franklin, Jalen Polk. Speaking of the Patriots, Marshawn Lloyd, Tyler Algier. Back to you, Mike. Your last pick.
All right, last pick. I'm taking a flyer here. I think Ricky Pearsall is where I'm going. He's on the Niners offense. If Brandon Ayuk somehow gets traded, or
Yeah.
he's one injury away from playing time, and if you can get playing time on an offense with that many weapons, you have potential to do something. So worth a shot in the 13th round.
That's great pick for there. I agree with that. All right, boys. So that is the draft. Who do we think won it? Do we know yet?
Oh, go.
Let's go over the rosters here. So I picked second. I'm gonna go over my team roster the way I have the rostered out here. So I got Jordan Love at quarterback, got Devon Achane, got Derrick Henry at running back. I went Jamar Chase and Jaden Reed at wide receiver. I got Joe Mixon at flex, got Jackson Smith and Jigba at flex, Dalton Kincaid at tight end. And then my bench is Jalen Warren, Jacoby Myers, Chase Brown, Kirk Cousins, Gabe Davis. I actually like my team quite a bit. I think it's a playoff worthy team. I don't know if it's going to be the best team in the league, but when you're picking second, you should come away with a playoff contender. So I like it.
Yeah, I like it. I don't want, you know what? I'm not even going to give any criticism. That's not my job to criticize your team. So let's just move on. We'll let the viewers determine
Okay.
whose
All right.
team is the best.
Mike,
It's not my
Mike
job
had
to do
something.
it for them.
Mike had something to say.
I had
did.
something, but
You
what
did.
am I, an asshole? I'm not an asshole.
You did. There's something he didn't like about it though.
I'm
Andy,
not
go
in
ahead.
love with it. I'm
Okay.
not in love with it.
All
But
right.
once again, like, where
Where would you have changed it? Is there any spots where you were like, ooh, so I think at
don't
Derrick
like
Henry, you didn't like that.
I don't like Derrick Henry. No. And I don't love your wide receiver room. I like the
Okay.
top
That was
end
mine.
of your team, but I don't really like the wide receiver room. But also when you have Jamar Chase and Devon Achane, as we said, you're good for a possible matchup where you could play only 2 people and win the matchup. So
Right.
you're fine. And I love Kincaid. We know that. So I don't think it's a bad roster. I'm not in love with it.
All right. So let's go to your roster here now. Why don't you go ahead and go over that?
All right. So quarterbacks, Brock Purdy. Running backs are James Cook and Rashad White. Wide receivers are Amon-Ra St. Brown, Drake London. Tight end is Mark Andrews. My flex is Christian Kirk. And it'll realistically probably be Devin Singletary. And that's tough to say out loud. But yeah, then the bench would be Chubb if he comes back, Cortland Sutton, Zach Charbonnet, Josh Downs, Brandon Cooks. So I like my roster up until I get to that last flex, and then that's ugly. Unless Chubb's healthy. If Chubb's come back and he's Chubb, then I feel very good about my fucking roster.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think it's lingering on that. If Chubb comes back real healthy, then you could have a hell of a team here.
I think you have the safest of teams in a PPR with also a lot of upsides. So, you have guys that are going to catch the ball out of the backfield. You have Amon-Ra and
I got targets
Christian,
for sure.
and Christian Kirk, and you have targets in those. So, and Brock Purdy's pretty safe too. So I think you have the safest team. And then if Nick Chubb can just be 75% of Nick Chubb, then he's going to be in your starting lineup too. So that's a solid squad.
Yeah, it is. It is. I don't think it's going to be like an explosion kind of squad unless Chubb comes back like Chubb, but it is a safe squad. Yeah. No real holes. Go ahead, Mike.
I got Eminem, it looks like, in the picture. Oh no, that's Joe Burrow as my quarterback. I got Saquon Barkley and Aaron.
That is in the
Is it
league. That's
Eminem?
Eminem. That's Eminem in the picture.
That is ridiculous. All right, so I got Joe Burrow as quarterback. I got Saquon Barkley and Aaron Jones as my running backs. I got Garrett Wilson and Jalen Waddle as my receivers. Evan Ingram as tight end. DK Metcalf and Jonathan Brooks, but Jonathan Brooks is on the bench as my flex. And then I got Zeke, Curtis Samuel, Rashid Shaheed, J.K. Dobbins, and Ricky Pearsall.
Dude, why is that Eminem? Why is Eminem?
Because a sleeper likes to have fun. They were doing shit like this last year. I remember.
Were they?
And
That's
now
so
I remember.
funny.
Yeah,
That's great. I did not know they had that sense of humor.
that's really good.
That is good. All right, I was distracted by the Eminem thing.
Yeah,
I think Mike has the best starting lineup if we're gonna put Curtis Samuel in over Jonathan Brooks. And yeah, I like Mike's start. I hate your bench, but I like your starting lineup a bunch.
Yeah,
I went all risk on the bench.
he went all risk, all high upside, which is that's very you, Mike. Like you were all or nothing when it comes to drafting and fantasy football.
Always have
in general.
been.
Yep.
Let's see if
All
there's
right,
any
boys.
rosters that I like. All right, boys.
That was fun though. That was fun for the first mock.
It was a good mock.
You got any other words of wisdom
enjoyed
for
myself.
us, Mike?
No.
Okay.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
All right. That was long.
That was
All
a
right.
long one.
So for Mike and Andy, I'm Doug. We'll see you guys next time. Later.
Peace.